Welcome back to Mountain Jim Card Collectibles. So, hope you had a great week. And today I'm going over a few things. We're going to start off with a penny for your thoughts and this crazy 1793 flowing penny card that Topps is releasing. It's a one-of-one trading card in remembrance of the penny, because they're not going to produce pennies because they cost approximately 3 cents to make a 1 cent penny. And then we're going to get into some hobby drama. Like it says here, just in, we've secured a flowing hair penny minted in 1793, the first year of the penny, and replacing it into the one-of-one trading card. Of course they are. They have to attempt to capitalize on anything imaginable within society. That's just the Topps Fanatics way. And, when you get into coin collecting, I tend to believe there is more value in a lot of coins than a lot of sports cards. I have quite a few collectible coins. My dad was a big collector. I typically don't like to sell them. I sold one this past year, and I felt bad about it. It was in my dad's collection. And, coins, to an extent, I believe, were definitely more valued. So I think it's funny that, Topps is showing out coins. I could go to some local coin shops, pick up some awesome coins. I used to do it. Let's see what people are saying about this. So this is the first U.S. penny. All right, so the first reply, SpongeBob is reselling for 250%, and they have us literally chasing pennies. They'd rather create gambling addicts than build a community. Okay. Yeah, I believe that. Unfortunately, sports cards really do feel like gambling, as we have moved into, I like to call the Pokemon TCG era of card collecting. Why is that? Well, it's because of these attitudes that come from, these sports card manufacturers. When will y'all be classified as gambling? This is getting nuts. Pretty cool idea from a coin collecting perspective. Yeah, in fact, you may as well just start collecting coins and just give up collecting cards. Why? Well, maybe you'll do better. So I think this is funny that Topps is doing this. So every card has a real penny, I'd buy. Yeah, I'm not going to sit here and say I wouldn't want this penny. I would love to have this card. Let's face it, it's a one-of-one. I'm sure there's some value, right there. Going for $4,325. That's a pretty good chunk of change, And there are people who like it. Like it says here, I like it. Very cool. It is an attraction, but we know that Topps always wheels out these crazy one-of-ones. So you get everyone, gambling and believing that they're going to hit it, these lottery tickets. But we all know that more than likely, average Joes like us will never get into this card. Cheap BS money grab. Focus on quality control for your cards and honoring redemptions. Yeah, there has been some news about the redemptions, that Topps isn't living up to. I could get into that in a later episode, but either way, I just said it before. Topps has this idea of rolling out one-of-ones to get people to buy their products. And eventually, you'll see through the veil and go, well, it's not for me. A 1793 flowing hair sense value ranges from a few $1,000s for common worn coins to over $1 million for rare varieties in excellent condition. Yeah, that's just it. Yeah, collect coins. Why bother collecting sports cards? AKA, someone please buy this horrible product. There we go. Got some for you, yeah. I got a lot of pennies we could throw in cards. Fanatics is ruining Topps, and I would have to agree. I mean, I would say that Fanatics is ruining, sports card collecting like no one could have ever imagined. I mean, they've swept out many of your true collectors, and they're trying to bring in the 1%. Good luck with that. As more and more people pull the parachute cords and land in the land of Pokemon TCG. Damn, whoever's running your new product line should be fired. Yeah, I mean, not much imagination, unfortunately. And, I get kind of burned out on these gimmicks that Topps keeps rolling out all the time. Guess no one is buying, really? When your entrant suggests a better option than you, whoops, maybe dump another 10 baseball sets by the end of the year. Yeah. I mean, in that aspect, Topps Fanatics, just showing out the baseball cards, same set, and just different designs, it just gets exhausting. Clown show of a company. How the hell are you guys in business still? Well, there are people who do like this card. I mean, I like the card, but, honestly, I'm not going to hit the card, I mean, that's just the way life is. It's just too bad that Topps has, this monopoly on sports cards that they do. I just feel like everyone should be happy that Topps Fanatics isn't involved in the TCG market. Because they ruin everything, I mean, the TCG is really all that's left for, your average Joe collectors, unfortunately. And they can always get into sports cards, but most of your collectors will always be pushed into the lower tiers of sports card collecting. And they've just had enough, and I don't blame them. So, this penny card from Topps, hey, maybe there's some value, but when you look at that penny, it's damaged. It's not the best penny out there. I doubt it's going to be, your $1 million, penny. But it is what it is. This comes from Sports Card News. And like it says, hobby heroes are turning on each other. Full breakdown. Just 2 weeks after PRyan was exposed for shieldbaiting, he took to Instagram and started dropping major allegations against fellow hobby hero Geoff Wilson. And basically what he says is that PRyan accused Geoff Wilson of paying an individual to artificially bid up his own Steph Curry out of 5 Topps Now autograph card. And he referenced a mysterious person referred to only as S in the Instagram post. Their full identity remains unknown. And like it says here, this comes on the heels of Wilson creating controversy when he publicly admitted he was fine paying PSA an upcharge to grade that same Curry card. Now, PRyan is suggesting the upcharge may have been part of a broader scheme to inflate the card's value. Oh, okay. So, this thing with PRyan and Geoff Wilson, basically pointing fingers about, it says here, market manipulation, shill bidding, collusion, and pay-for-play grading, all at the highest levels of the hobby. So, this is a great post. But then we come down here and let's see who replied. Oh, Geoff Wilson did. Any accusation about me shill bidding or asking others to bid on any card is absolutely false. It's so completely made up that I shouldn't even have to defend myself. But since I know you'll attempt to make the world's biggest deal about this nonsense, I want to be clear that I have never done that and never will. And then, we have Sports Card News' reply. The timing of the sales of the other Currys and you flexing yours is interesting. Just saying. It's weird he called you out 2 weeks after this blew up. Why now? I've known PRyan for a long time. Would he make stuff up? Not sure. Maybe you'll both call in tomorrow. All right. And then we have even, a big, YouTube guru, Scotty B Cards. He even weighed in on this. I know Ty well. I would bet any amount of money that he is not pepping up the low-end Pistons market. Yeah. And I guess I forgot to tell you that, they also get into this where it says here, he also directly accused Teapot, an employee at Sports Card Investor, of systematically manipulating the low-end Detroit Pistons card market, driving up prices on cheaper cards to create artificial demand and scarcity. I mean, I'm totally out of the loop. I mean, I'm just, getting wind of this stuff, very recently. So then it's back to this post. I know Ty well. I would bet any amount of money that he is not pepping up the low-end Pistons market. And then we have Sports Card News. Oh, shut up. Scotty B Cards. Huh? Why are you telling me to shut up? The Sports Card News. The idea that you two are buddies and the implication is that buddies are butting on each other's cards. Yeah, shut up. Then we have this reply. This is why Geoff always walks the fine line. He doesn't want his dirty laundry getting out. Sports Card News. He needs private equity banks to fund his next shop. He's going to be very careful how he speaks until that's funded. IMO. I don't even know about that. All right. Also, as Sergi Boy pointed out, that Steph Curry card is clearly not a PSA 10. All right. So here's another reply. This comes on the heels of Wilson creating controversy when he publicly admitted he was fined paying PSA an upcharge to grade that same Curry card. Now PRyan is suggesting the upcharge may have been part of a broader scheme to inflate the card's value. Yeah, no shit, he was fine with it. Inflated the value of the card, which meant more money on the sale, and for everyone involved. The card isn't a PSA 10 at all, and the scans don't lie. I even called it out, saying he only got a 10 because of who he is, and it's the truth, as well as inflating the value of the card with a 10. Well, it is PSA. I mean, they really do seem to, help out their big guru wealthy buddies. I mean, I can't prove that, but, that's kind of the sense in the hobby. I've come to realize that in the sports card hobby, integrity is hard to come by. Just a couple months ago, someone was pretending to be a woman and scamming educators. That says a lot about where things are. The few people who do have integrity tend to stick around and actually become real friends. As for the others, I never trusted that Geoff guy. He strikes me as a type who'd take any payout to promote something, just to keep his foot in the door. Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest Geoff Wilson fan either. I never watch him. I stay away from basically anything that has to do with Geoff Wilson, the Sports Card Investor. That's just me. I mean, I know that there's a lot of YouTube gurus that like to bend the knee to these, big, wealthy hobby heroes. But let's face it, this hobby doesn't really reward experience. It tends to reward wealth, That's just the way it is. So many in this hobby have been blocking a ton of these and influencing PSA shills. Yeah, I mean, I tend to stay away from a lot of the sports card influencers these days. I mean, every now and then I'll watch a show, I guess, from Neo, maybe Sports Card Dad, maybe a few other small channels that I like. But for the most part, it's just kind of like, yeah, these influencers and PSA shills are exhausting. They really are. I mean, if only money grew on trees, because then we could all enjoy the sports card hobby. Geoff Wilson's been a goober since he came in the light. This is no surprise to anyone. So effing lame. This hobby isn't even fun anymore. Only about the almighty dollar. Yeah, and that's why I said it in my prior episode. They talk about maybe we're in the slab or the junk slab era, for sports cards. I don't even feel like we're in the sports card era anymore. I feel like the population, the hobby, the fans have drifted over into the land of Pokemon. I call it the Pokemon TCG era, or just the TCG era, because let's face it, the sports card industry has more or less destroyed itself with all of its greed, So anyway, Geoff Wilson was greener than goose shit when he got into the hobby. Still is, but just has a lot of money. He should not be the face of anything. Yeah, and that's just it. Is like I said earlier. I mean, this hobby doesn't reward experience. It rewards wealth, and you can just join in tomorrow and the hobby will bend the knee to you. If you're like a billionaire, and you start your own channel, you start your own card shop, I wish it was different. I mean, people like me, we've been swept under the rug. I mean, I'm like one of the biggest jokes, for collecting cards at this point. I mean, and I've been collecting cards since 1985. Laugh out loud if your hobby hero is Geoff Wilson. I mean, I just have to laugh about that. Because if he is, you're more than likely one of these individuals who worships wealth, and people like us are just getting exhausted. All a bunch of goofies. Got to be aware of these grifters in the hobby. All right. So, I mean, this drama, with these big, hobby heroes, PRyan, Teapot, Geoff Wilson, I really haven't been involved in it. I tend to think that these feuds are kind of a joke. Really, when you kind of look at who's fighting, it feels like a bunch of rich people. I'm just putting that out there. I've never been wealthy, and that's just the way that the sports card hobby seems to bend is to the most wealthy individuals and their drama. People like me, we've always been swept under the rug. I mean, I'm not a wealthy person, and honestly, when I die, I never will be a wealthy person. I don't see that ever changing. But what I wish would change is all the scams and schemes in the sports card hobby that seems to have really driven a lot of people out of it into the current era of the Pokemon era / TCG era. I mean, honestly, when I go and shop for cards anymore, I do focus more on Pokemon than sports cards. Sports cards have kind of turned into a country club of wealthy individuals now, haven't they? I mean, it's hard to get into the good cards, whereas with Pokemon, you don't have to spend near as much to get into a good card, I mean, it is what it is. So, how do you feel about all this hobby drama? Do you think it's just kind of water under the bridge, dust in the wind, just kind of the more hobby having to react to something, Are you just getting exhausted with the way things are? Anyway, I'd like to thank my subscribers and my viewers. If you haven't subscribed, I know I don't say it enough. Please subscribe. It's the only way I can improve my small channel. So have a great day. Bye.